He looks good. They wrote that. Good morning. You too. Makes us look smart. Yes, Robert. Yes, baby. I think we've got the best about
Those are nice surprises.
how much dry. So pressing was fine.
Good morning, it is 9 o'clock, so let's call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Elizabeth Calhoun, here, Counselor Jonathan Brandenburg,
Here.
Counselor Steve Cherry,
Here.
Counselor Angela Black,
Here.
Counselor Daniel Lang.
Here.
If you would stand and join me for the invocation. And before we do the invocation, let's have a moment of silence for Sergeant Joseph Alcott. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you today. We thank you for this community. We thank you for a safe, successful weekend here in our town. We just ask your continued blessings over us and your protection as we go into a busy summer season. We thank you for the rain. We pray for more rain. Be with us through this meeting and just give us wisdom. In Jesus' name we pray.
Of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning. We all are not. First item is an approval of agenda. I will take a motion to do that.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next item is public comment. We have anybody signed up? No. Okay. I will move on to approval of the minutes from our special meeting, April 27th. I can have a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes for the special meeting April 27th, 2026.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next is the minutes from our regular meeting on April 28th. I can have a motion.
How many motion to approve regular meeting April 28th?
Got a second. Second. Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. One question. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is we have a presentation by Richard Swiggers. He has to be on the agenda at the last meeting, so we'll turn this over to you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, boy, that sure got up here quick this morning. Appreciate that, appreciate y'all allowing me to speak to you this morning. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Alpine lot. Okay. The Alpine lot was established in 1953. So that puts it up there somewhere around 73 years old. Okay. Why do we care about that? Because my discussion is going to encompass a lot of that. Okay. I just want you to know that I'm not here to be confrontational. I'm not here to surprise anybody or get anybody in trouble. That's not my intent. There's some problems at the Alpine that I would like to see solved that requires your assistance. Okay. So I just want to bring it to your attention today. And now I'll also with a disclaimer, I don't know everything, guys. Okay. It's 73 years old. There's a lot of history there. Okay. There's a lot of things that happened before your time, before my time. I know you've had a lot of history at the Alpine. But there's a lot of things that were done that I don't know why or who did it and if it even did happen. Okay. So, I'm not looking for anything today as far as a complete task or anything like that. I just want to bring this to you guys' attention because I need your help. And there are some things I'd like to think we can solve over there. Okay, so my first order of business with this thing is I'm gonna pass you guys out some documents here. And, we'll just look through them here together. This is part of the survey that the Alpine did not too long ago, okay? And I've highlighted for you a section of the survey. It's an easement on that, would be the east side of the property, butts up Pioneer. The easement involves Millette Creek. Okay, which you're pretty familiar with, aren't you?
Yes, it's the right place.
So,
Green space, basin shop. Thank you.
that's my first thing of discussion today. It was probably, well, we bought the Alpine in 17. And, I know you guys probably don't remember, but when we bought it, that whole ditch, on this easement was overgrown with willow trees and brush and stuff down in that ditch. Where, water was supposed to flow into the Red River. And, we have since cleaned that ditch, of all the brush, okay? And so, it left us with a pretty good spot to be able to clean by mowing and weed eating and keeping that ditch clean, right? And, then about probably 2 years ago, maybe going on 3, I can't keep track of the time, it's really irrelevant. But some city employee came over to the Alpine and unannounced and began to dig up the property. Okay, now I understand, I don't hold it against them, okay, because I understand what they were doing. They was trying to open up some drainage problems. Okay. I would have liked to have been notified, but they were doing their job and I'm okay with that. Okay. So the problem that I had with that part of it is it's not so much that he dug up the property, but he did it by shovel, okay? And he had no place to put what he was digging other than on top of what was already there. Okay. So now for me to clean out the ditch, I've got trenches and stacks of rocks and dirt healed up, and I hate to admit it, but I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And it's making it very difficult for me to clean that ditch. Okay. And so again, it's okay. Okay. I've tried to contact Isaac, and we've tried to get together with a meeting, and it just didn't happen. Okay. They're very busy. I understand that. That's not a problem. I hold no ill will towards those guys for not responding. It's just life. Okay. And so, but it made me dig a little deeper. Okay. Because I need to get that area squared away. I wanted to get it squared away. And I talked to Jeff. He's been here a long time. Okay. And he knows what that easement looked like when it was put in. I don't know if any of you do. Linda, I know you've been here a long time. I don't know if you remember what it looked like. But he's told me that when that was finished, that had a base of river rock on there. Okay. And that, it was nice and flowed nicely to the river. Now guys, there's probably 18 inches at least of silt fill in that ditch. Okay. Is the river rock there? Yeah, there's there because he dug it up and put it on top of the silt. Okay, so we know it's there. So it's all good. But as I dug deeper, I went to my attorney and I talked to her, just to get some legal counsel, just to see how the best way to handle this was. And it come to my surprise because I was going to come to the town and say, town, I need you to come clean this up, get it back where it was. But to my surprise, it's not the town's responsibility. Okay. And so, what she told me was, and the easement is for your information, but it's actually the state highway department responsibility. Okay. And, the kind of the tricky part about this is where the city gets involved with this particular circumstance is that the city has to contact the state highway department to tell them about it, to have it get done. Okay, that's the advice of my lawyer. Okay, I would assume she knows. Like, again, I don't know. So my ultimate goal is, I don't know who would be the one to contact the highway department. But I would like a representative from the town, whoever that might be. I don't know if it'd be the mayor, Jordana, or who it will be, Isaac, I don't know, but that's not my department. I think you guys can help me with that. But so what I'm asking is that you will make that contact for me, and let's see if we can't get that easement cleaned up. And it's not just about Richard and mowing the ditch, okay, guys? I want you kind of look at the big picture of things, is that as we've owned the lodge, we've learned that the lodge is in the floodplain. Okay. And our first thought is it goes to the Red River. Well, that's part of it. But Millette Canyon is a problem for flooding. Okay, that is considered a floodplain all the way down to the river. Okay. And if the Millette River can't flow like it should, because it's full of silt, there's gonna not only be damage, well, there's gonna be damage, okay? And it, it depends on how severe the flooding is, of course, with a lot of things. But I do believe that if we don't clean that out, even if it's a minor rainstorm that turns into somewhat of a flash flood, could be detrimental, even for you especially.
Yeah.
Okay, because if it can't flow, it's gonna come out. All right, so if we can clean that out and keep it cleaned out, then I just think that's a benefit, not only for the Alpine, but for other residents upstream. Okay, that's kind of my thought process. Just, we gotta get it cleaned out. We've been there going on this year, 9th year there. It's never been cleaned out until in the 9 years I've been there. And with the willow brush that was growing in there, I'm gonna say it's been a long time since that's, and 18 inches of silt, it's been a long time since that's been addressed. Okay. And if it's anybody's fault, it's the state highway department's fault. Now, I don't know how they keep track of their easements and stuff like that, but they're responsible for cleaning that out. Okay. So that's my first part. I would like for you guys, if you would, whoever that is, please contact the state highway department, and please have them contact me when they decide to come in, because I'd like a little bit of communication between them and me. I don't want them just coming in there with their loaders and backhoes and everything else right in the middle of July. Okay. But I do feel like it's pretty urgent to get that cleaned out. So,
Before you go to your next subject.
Sure.
I do have a little bit of history here.
okay.
So I'm old enough to remember when Millette was a viable running river. Before Sweet Willie's was built on top of it, like that. And the reason this land is easement the way it is that town worked with the owners of the Alpine at that point, because they realized that is a watershed. And so for about 40 years, up until probably the early 90s, the town of Red River and the Wormville family cooperated and kept that as a functioning watershed. And so the town would help, they would come in with gravel and do some plantings, and it sits in the middle of town. So both sides wanted to be attractive. When a different owner took over, they decided it was state stuff and never touched it ever again. So that's why it's in this condition. Is memory did not move into the next generation of our cooperative agreement. That's a little,
and I will say, I'm not opposed to who does the work. If the city wants to come in and work with the Alpine Lodge to take care of it ourselves, I'm okay with that. I just would like to get it done and cleaned up. So, and just keep it maintained. I mean, it looks pretty crappy right now, because I'm, like I said, no spring chicken. I don't get out there every day and whack the weeds down. But we are trying to keep it looking nice over there. If you guys decided that you don't want to involve the state, I'm not going to say no to you bringing a loader over there or something over there and scooping that out, cleaning it up, dump truck, whatever. I don't think it's going to take a lot of time. But I don't have a dump truck. I don't have a loader, so just keep that in mind. I'm not opposed to that either. You know, I would just like to see, that cleaned up. You know, does that make sense? Sound good to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next thing is same location. Pioneer Street. This is another, hopefully maybe a little clearer, but just shows the boundary lines of the Alpine lot, okay?
Let's see. So. This is me. This is that road.
Okay.
Between.
All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, we're good. You're
No,
good.
no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. It'll be a follow-up discussion.
Okay.
Not reverse. Thank you.
Okay. I didn't highlight that. Does this look familiar? Well, you haven't seen it yet, but it'll look familiar to you.
We are. Theater and other.
It does not, you might, no, it's because I didn't highlight it. But it's quite a grass, something happened. All right, guys.
It is.
So what you're looking at here, on that first page where it just got, there's no highlighted, areas. It's basically just, I'm just trying to show you the boundary line, okay, and as you can see, there's a bold line going around the outer edge of the property. And then the next one I gave you, I highlighted some areas. The stuff that's highlighted in yellow is owned by the Alpine. But those areas highlighted in yellow is Pioneer Street. That's the street. Okay. Now this is where I was going. I'll go back to the history of 1953. Okay. Why didn't, at some point in time, the city buy that part of Pioneer Street or whatever? Okay. But according to the surveyor and the title company, that never happened. Okay. And as you can see, there's three sections there, 1, 3, and 5. 1 being the bigger part. And it's funny because between 1 and 3, there's a little carve out there that is an alley. And that's the drain that Jeff cleaned out to drain into that Creek wash there. So my initial thought is, you know, who knows why it didn't happen? Okay. Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Germans wanted it, we have a racist mayor who refused to cooperate, wouldn't even discuss it with them, but I tried to buy it.
Okay.
This just a short story, really quick.
Okay. Well, how times have changed.
Okay.
Because my goal today is I'd like for you guys, and this is the part here where I'm really not requiring any action. It's more just a thought process, maybe some research that has to happen, okay? Because you know when you do surveys and you do title searches, there's always that chance that maybe something didn't get recorded. Okay. So maybe there's something sitting somewhere in City Hall. I don't know. Okay, I just don't know. But right now, as it shows, the Alpine owns those 3 sections of land in Pioneer. And I guess I'm bringing this up now because I know we've got a big project coming up. Pioneer. For long. Big water pipe, right? And so my ultimate goal, I think, what makes sense to me, guys, is that I would like to clean up that boundary line. Okay. And what I propose and I didn't make it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, okay. So what I propose with these highlighted areas is that we bring that Pioneer, let's call it an encroachment, if you will. Even though the Alpine owns it, let's just call it an encroachment in the Pioneer. what I would propose is to clean that up, is we bring that boundary line back to the back side, to the alpine side of the sidewalk. Okay, all the way down, about to the art gallery where that bump out there in Pioneer is. Okay, so I would propose, now, then, you can see that I just put a dot on number 2 and a dot on number 3 in orange. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
And then you can see that I also highlighted number 7 to the left there. Number 7 is actually our other entrance off of Millette Road. Okay. Now the survey, this is a very detailed survey, but for some reason, there's no detail who owns that property, number 7. Now, my assumption is that the city owns it, because it's comes right off, it's listed as Millette on the survey. I'm assuming the city owns it.
I think so.
You know, that's where we're probably gonna have to get a little research done and just verify this for my next statement. Because what I propose,
It was a street.
yeah,
At one point in time, there was a complete street that went from High Street to the river.
yeah,
And so you're dealing with the leftovers of them.
yeah, 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 and the survey shows that, okay, but it shows that being closed now, past that point of highlighted area, okay? And belonging to the Alpine, okay? So, you know, again, things are gonna have to be researched and double checked and all this, but my proposal with it is that we bring everything back to the backside of the sidewalk. And 2 and 3 and 2, 4, and 7 belonging to the city, all assumptions at this point. But what I would like to do, and make it a neutral transaction, and if it's all legal and we can do it, I don't know, okay? But I would like to trade 1, 3, and 5 for 2, 4, and 7.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's a reasonable.
and you know, again, I don't know all the legalities and the things that have to happen to make that happen, if it even can. But that's what I'm proposing. And I think for me today, now, yes, there's a little imbalance in the square footage between the two, okay?
That's
But I gotta say that there's been a lot of stuff done on Alpine property that probably shouldn't have. Okay, so no big deal. 1953, guys, who cares? Okay, I don't care. We need to move forward, and I think, you know, and today what I would like, and you guys might talk about it at another time, whatever. I hope you will anyway. But that is my proposal. I would like to see that traded off, and of course, if not, guys, if that's something we can't do, then if and you know, there's other parties still involved that I have to talk to, okay, to get their approval.
Right.
Okay. So you know, but if we can't do some neutral transaction like that, where that would benefit not only the town, but it would benefit the Alpine. It would clean it up, you know. Alpine can't do that anyway, right? Pioneer. What are we gonna do with it? Okay. Well, maybe next year Memorial, if we don't have it squared away, I'll put a tent right there at the mouth of Pioneer and Main Street. I'm teasing. Come on, everybody smile. Everybody smile. Come on. But anyway, you know, this is probably a time-consuming effort, honestly, you know. But I'd like to see some action before you start carving up my property of Pioneer. Okay, so let's maybe, I mean, can we set a time? I mean, as far as the easement, can we talk next month and say, hey, you know, we talked to them, did we get anywhere? Are they gonna come? You know, can we talk next month at the meeting to say, hey, you know what, this is what we decided we can do. We're willing to look at it, you know, but we'd rather do this. You know, I just want to open a dialogue at this point. you know, and, you know, I guess the only other option as far as Pioneer goes, if we can't do a land swap, then we're gonna have to look at a purchase. Okay? And so I think that's all I got, guys. If you got any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them for you.
I have one more, just an additional question.
Okay.
Do you have any town easements along the river? Because originally there was plan for River Street to continue. And I'm just wondering if you have any hangups there.
Now, at this point, the only easement I have with the town on Alpine property is the sewer line that runs along the property. Okay. I don't see anything on the survey other than that as far as easements with the town. There's, you know, due to the time factor and the age of everything, there are some questions on the survey that there's not enough documentation on some, but it doesn't pertain to that area. Okay. You know, and the thing of it is, and, you know, Linda and Georgiana have seen this document, we've talked about it in the past, and, you know, my thing is, you gotta do it, I don't blame anybody for doing it, but you gotta check it out, if you think there's some discrepancies, check it out. You know, I mean, all we can do is what we can do, right? If there are documents there that says that's not mine, then what can I say? Okay? But, as it is right now, on the latest survey that came in, from, Rio Grande, which if you do anything down there, that's a mess now. Cause I tried to get copies and he sold out, retired. And he's got somebody from Santa Fe that bought him out. They're going through his files and it's a mess. They couldn't do nothing for me. So, but luckily I had copies and stuff I could make. But yeah, so that's the only one I'm aware of.
So
Okay,
Richard, we do have a good process on how to do land exchanges, and we've
Okay.
done it, and there's precedents to do it, so it's what we do.
okay,
So let us do our research,
okay,
and hopefully we'll be ready to put it on the agenda for the next meeting,
okay.
okay?
Yeah, I do feel like, you know, we're gonna have to get lawyers involved and title companies involved just to redraw it.
Exactly.
Now that he's retired, but I mean, somebody can pick this up and, you know, based on what he's done already with these, cause I've had him highlight those areas for this very specific reason. They should be able to do that fairly easy now, you know, fairly quickly, I would think. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I've got. Anybody else got any questions? I'd be glad to answer anything if you got it.
And we really can't discuss it that much now because it wasn't on the agenda, so let us do what we need to do, and then the next meeting, when it is on the agenda for action, then we can talk and ask questions and do.
Okay, sure.
Awesome.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you guys for your time.
Great.
Side.
Okay, next item is a financial report and approval of expenditures for this.
The GRCs received in May for March, report sectors. In construction, we were down $2,676, 12.76%. Retail trade was down $38,462, 18.61%. Real estate was down $4,188, 26.08%. And in accommodation food service, it was down $20,965, 28.43%. In gross receipts, tax collection for the month, we were down $85,112, 22.63%. And year to date, we're down $246,983, 7.16%. In that lottery checks at reporting time, we had 11 that had not reported, a couple of RV3 management, and 6 Mackies. For the month, we were down $8,550, 10.43%. Year to date, we are down $52,139, 6.54%. And that's my report.
Do you think when those 11 properties report, there will be somewhat
back to normal.
That's it, people.
I believe so. I think a couple of months ago, we had one that was an NSF and we still haven't collected on that one, so. I believe we can be pretty close to even, if not, maybe a little bit higher.
Questions from council?
Questions?
Then I will take the motion to approve our expenditures for April 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve our expenditures for these.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second for approval. Any other comments, discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we'll move on to committee reports, public safety.
Hey, we had a relatively quick meeting. Our Marshal Jason Rail presented his operations plan for New York weekend. We walked our way through it, talked about congestion issues, allowing emergency vehicle access, stuff we just lived through this weekend. Talked a little bit about staffing. The Toyota truck is almost done. They're just doing some minor issues, fixing it. The new side-by-sides in production should be here soon. No dispatch report, fire department, deep. There were 14 calls, 13 EMS, 1 fire call for the month of April. Property inspections continue. We're at about 24% so far. The new wildline engine should be delivered. It's close. And then we just talked about concerns about the weekend, what kind of populations we're expecting, who was coming. But we have just lived through that. So quick meeting. That was it.
Anybody have questions?
No.
Okay.
Just for those of you who are in the room, if you wish to, that operations plan for New York weekend that our police put out is available online. I would encourage you to look at it so that you actually have informed information about who is here, police are here, how we're covering it. Just a really helpful little handbook to hang on to. That was all I had.
Thank you. Okay, public works.
We did not have one.
All right, we'll move on to parks and trails.
And Park and Trails. So Max and Julie gave us an update on the flower baskets. They'll be here early June. They ordered 160 cubic feet of soil for the planters that are here like at Brandenburg Park. So they're gonna put geraniums and marigolds in those planters. Looks like the pump track got wrapped up. If you haven't looked at it, check it out, looks really good. It's great actually. We're trying to figure out how to get the Millet tennis court fencing kind of better taken care of. I know we got a huge bid to redo the surface. It was outrageous. We would like to look into making that a little better. We did think some sign ideas, which you guys can come and look at. There are a couple of choices here. As a committee, we went over them. We liked the first choice, just that one with these kind of number for where we have our existing sign now on the west end of town. We wanted a little different look because there's less area there. So we kind of look at those signs. We're still not quite sure exactly where we want to put it on the west end of town, since we're gonna have a new trailhead in some areas where congestion. We do want an area where people can park, to take pictures by that sign. So anytime the public wants to see these, they can kind of look at the sign ideas and tell what you guys think. What else we go over? We'd still like to get the softball field kind of better maintained and kind of looking a little better so it's better usable for our guys. We want that fishing sign replaced down there if possible. I don't think it's a very expensive sign if you can look at that. And then as far as like trails being cleared and ready to go, I know that trail, Middle Fork is cleared to the lake. Pioneer's cleared all the way to the gate. Trout Canyons are coming along great with the Red Rock protocol that you graphically received. It's coming along good. They're getting closer there. And then the Red River Spirit has some funds to start putting some permanent tee pads for the disc golf course at Millet Park and some new signs. That's kind of where we were.
So just at the last meeting, we had a suggestion to maybe move the old sign up to Mud Park. I was looking up there, if you guys would sort of take a look, I don't know if maybe there by the, stand volleyball, or if there's sort of a little area off there, where it would be out of the way of any of the disc golf stuff, but, so maybe.
Check back to that.
Can take that to committee.
And one more thing for, we would like to get no parking, no trailer parking signs for Millet. Cause if people come with trailers and they park there, then no one else can get in there. We'd like there to be an arrow for them to maybe park it up further up the road at what we call the old golf course, but we'd really like to also get back, cause whenever someone gets here, if you get 4 or 5 trailers, it becomes way too congested for people who are just trying to enjoy the park. We can just order those. Right, that's pretty simple. Just the
And the bathrooms up there are working, the water's back, everything's good, so they're
Perfect.
been working.
Great.
And the truck is good, have you seen the truck?
Yeah.
It's amazing, we've got
Yeah.
a squad ready to go out going on, it looks really good. Okay, anything else?
I was approached by a couple of local people who wanted to donate funds to public works, particularly for the baseball field and for the tennis courts.
You can do it.
That's what I told them.
Just walking down all of them.
So we might at some point let our community know, yes, we'd be glad to take donations to enhance our public whatever spaces, there we go. Okay, I just wanted to verify. Great.
All right, Audrey.
We did have a meeting in May. Everybody was present. Georgianne was available to review the Lodgers tax financial report, which she just gave to you all on her report here. The committee reviewed the 2026-2027 interim budget for the Lodgers tax fee that we had as council done workshops on. So they took a look at that and they liked it. The tourism department update, Max and Julie provided an update on current marketing efforts and upcoming initiatives. We do have those reports available. If you would like to see them, the summer marketing campaign has launched. It was a little earlier than normal this year. The goal was to get visitation into Red River a little bit earlier because of the weak winter months that we had. The marketing costs with some of our regular channels and platforms have increased significantly due to world events, meaning like the World Cup and other things like that. And we've had to pivot to a slightly different strategy. The overview of various media strategies, including digital print and other advertising platforms, continued emphasis on multi-channel approach to maximize reach and engagement. We did a brief overview of current activities and initiatives. Memorial Day weekend, of course, was the topic mostly for this meeting. Grant statuses were discussed. Max has taken a new position. I think you probably all know that now. Today is his last day. Julie Rice will be stepping in as interim director for the time being. Julie provided an update and schedule on the conference center bookings and availability. We are doing great for this year. There's only 7 individual days available left to book. We announced it at the last council meeting, but we updated our committee that we had decided, we negotiated a little bit with RJ who puts on Red River Jamboree, and we did give them $3,500 plus in-kind use of facilities, but Linda had announced that at the last meeting. Committee report, Naomi was there and she gave an update on Vino in the Valley and Oktoberfest. Reed was there to represent the ski area, and he reminded everyone of the opening days for activities, discussed the issue of J1 students not being able to get their visas this year. And I think a lot of the businesses in town have seen that. There was a shortage because they're giving these world events that are taking place in the United States first selection for visas, as well as they're not, some of them like Kazakhstan, I don't believe they're allowing to leave the country after all. Short story is that the river ski area is very short on employees this year. The Rex Foundation was not present to give a report on Mardi Gras. That's a little early. Katie from the Lodge Alliance reported that the Alliance had not met yet and hoped to have more information by the next committee meeting. Reed had come up with a really cool idea to enhance Memorial Day in the park, kind of the town side of the weekend. We agreed to discuss that at our next committee meeting, so hopefully I'll have more to report on that next time. And that's it.
I think it'll look a lot of fun, exchange students, no South Americans, no, Europeans. The US government is not holding interviews from Europe to the Middle East. They were starting to do Chinese interviews this week. So I think D next door has the first, exchange student interview this week,
I got them all.
Thursday, Friday,
I got all three of my kids.
and he got his, but I gather, it's complicated still, so, people are struggling to staff their businesses. Yeah. Well, I was getting in trouble. Just, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. All right, under mayor's report, Memorial Weekend's over. I think it went extremely well. I think our officers did an amazing job, all of our first responders, public works. Admin, Mr. Center, everybody really pitched in and, the park was full, it was good. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we kind of adjusted the way we did the parking in the middle this year. So that we could be a little more fluid with having certain areas blocked off, and if we needed overflow, we were able to open those up. So we worked towards that. Council did meet on Saturday morning and Sunday morning for briefings to just sort of see what was going on and how the weekend was going and how we could do better, making sure we were keeping everybody safe. We had a very unfortunate incident in Taos that wasn't related to a rally or a motorcycle rally in any way, shape, or form. It was something completely different. We should have numbers with our Replacer AI, hopefully by the end of the week or by the beginning of next week. So we'll be able to know actually how many people we did have in town. I know we have a lot of day riders in the town, really swells in the afternoon, and then it seemed to really die off and get quiet in the evenings. The weather was perfect, beautiful days and cool evenings to kind of calm them down and get them inside. But I think overall it was successful, and we'll be working towards what we do next year and start planning for that and see what changes the larger tax, brings with ideas. So anyway, that's behind us. Now we can look towards the rest of the summer. I was able to meet with the rodeo organizer on Saturday morning, along with the landowner, and the first rodeo should be here July the 17th, that Friday and Saturday night, and they plan on doing 4 weekends of rodeos. The town is going to be paying for leasing the grandstands, so that'll be our portion for that. And they'll be bringing in the stock on Thursday night, doing rodeo Friday and Saturday, and then everything will go out, and we'll come back in the following Thursday. I talked to Jim Mitchell with BuiltWise this morning. Our homes are on the way. They were rolling out the door. They should be here Wednesday, and they'll start the foundation. I said, we have a hard June 30th, and he said they just put in 12 units, and it took them 3 days. So, yeah. so hopefully we're good there. And following this meeting, we're gonna have a little short meet and greet with Max. This is Max's last day. He's been with us since 2018. Is that when he started? He was with us and he did a brief stint with the chamber, then he came back to us, and we've had the opportunity to watch Max just grow. We're gonna make it cry. But he's going on to do bigger and better things. He's really, really taken the opportunity to advance his career with economic development, and that's what he's going to get to work on in Los Alamos. And it's just such an amazing opportunity for him. And he's only a phone call away. And
2 hours down the road.
2 hours down the road.
You can work weekends here.
But anyway, we're so proud, Max. So we have some Tristan cheesecake, we have some Madison Cross cupcakes. So those will be available all day, and just, if you don't have a chance after the meeting, just stop by if you need a little sugar rush and grab a cupcake and give Max a hug and wish him well. Thank you. Oh, it just breaks my heart. Okay, now we'll move on to new business.
Before you move, Mayor,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but the rodeo,
The rodeo, yeah.
are we doing advertising push specifically for the rodeo?
It's planned, but
Okay.
I think we just need more information.
Okay, so typically what we do with our advertising is we have the entire campaign mapped out. And then because we do so much digital and so much online and all, we can just plug in special meetings.
Thank you.
It works out really
Yeah, that's all I need. Thank you.
But that will be reached regularly. And I think it's good to do because we still, I mean, we're getting enough moisture, so we're looking, I don't know if you wanna give us a little update on that. We're still in restrictions, but things are looking better. But I think it's, you wanna,
They're, I mean, we're supposed to get some more moisture today, and kind of warm up, and then they're predicting the first week, start Sunday through good part of next week getting moisture. They're still predicting monsoons to a super monsoon, so, you know, which we may go from one extreme of dryness to another extreme of flooding, so that's just, I'm not, it's your.
And welcome, Don.
so anyway, and that's part of the reason that we're looking at the rodeo. We're looking at, there's gonna be music in the park that the chamber's gonna be doing. I'm talking about doing some more things that can keep people in town, so that when they're here, if they can't get out in the forest for some reason, you still have plenty of things to keep them busy. And they can still look at the beautiful mountains even if they can't go in them. So that's sort of the direction we're trying to go in. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Now we'll go to consideration and approval. The first item is resolution 2026-13. And this is our 26-27 budget adoption. We did have a pretty lengthy work session on this with the council. We have to have this submitted to DFA, our interim budget by June 1st. So, and then we'll wait for them to give us our final budget that we're going to adopt. So do you want to, what is the things you wanted to point out?
Just the changes that we've been made to 214, we have changed some of the line items in that. And, the last, about a week and a half ago, DFA, called us to let us know, that we had to move our cannabis regulation tax from our 101 into its own fund. So we added a fund for that, this next budget.
And that's what we're waiting.
It's gotta be its own line item.
Yeah.
Can I ask, can I ask what that is, the cannabis regulation?
Well, we
We,
have a retail shop here.
Yes.
And so the tax from that, it generates and we get a
It's a
portion of it.
From the excise
It's different,
tax.
it's different, GRG.
Okay.
And it's an unrestricted fund. So we can talk about, how we will use that. We can use it for tourism, we can use it for basically anything we want. But it was in 101, so now we can. raise it.
Yeah, so that was pretty much all that. It was.
And then didn't we talk about this on any line items or you could?
Well, I got it for the 214.
Okay, yeah, it's super.
Just, yeah.
Okay, so council, any questions on the budget before we approve that? Okay, and you know, we do have grants that come in, we do have, always throughout the year, and that's why we do the budget adjustment requests, so. We love our bars, yeah. All right, if there, are no other questions about that, I would take a motion to approve resolution 2026-13.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-13, the 2026-2027 budget adoption.
Okay, do I have a second?
All right, second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to approve the 2026-27 budget. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, roll call.
Counselor Steve Cherry,
Yes.
Counselor Angela Black,
Yes.
Counselor Daniel Lamb.
yes,
Counselor Justin Frydenberg.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The next one is 2026-14, the transportation project funding, the TPF funding, and this is for East River Street Surface Improvement Project for $2.89 million. And our match is $144,500.
great.
So I would take a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion that we approve resolution 2026-14. Transportation Project Fund, fiscal year 27, East Rivers Street Surface Improvement Project.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any other comments, comments, or discussion? Okay, roll call.
Counselor Justin Brandenburg,
Yes.
Counselor Steve Cherry,
Yes.
Counselor Angela Black,
Yes.
Counselor Daniel Lamb.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The next one is resolution 2026-15, TPL funding for bridge rehabilitation and replacement project. We were able to get, capital outlay for this, and this is, $325,000 to help with the planning and design. And this is for another 2.89 to actually, begin the project.
And which bridge is this?
And I'm in the wrong
What-
year, I'm sorry,
what's been done?
it's 2 million. It's bridges at Memphis.
We have a total of 10, and it's replacement of, there's not enough information, kind of like the outline. We don't have enough information as far as rate and such, so it would have cost us a lot more to get that surveyed and done, actually, so it's easy. By going and doing a full replacement, we'll have all the information needed.
So we're not doing a full replacement.
We're
doing a full replacement.
full replacements of the different bridges.
So we just kind of again,
Okay, so it's not, today, it's not tied to a specific bridge, we're gonna tearing up Richard's front yard, that's what I'm asking. Okay,
Just a little bit.
okay, well, yeah.
and I'm managed for that.
Thanks. Okay, thank you.
All right. So I would take a motion to approve resolution 2026-15.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-15, bridge rehabilitation replacement project.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments, discussion? Okay, roll call.
Counselor Daniel Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Justin Brandenburg,
Yes.
Counselor Steve Cherry,
Yes.
Counselor Angela Black.
Yes.
The motion carries. The next one is purchase of a UTV for the volunteer. He has one and I believe it expired. So, have we gone out to bid for that, or is that all of us doing?
It'll come out 295.
Okay.
So that's just basically the stuff.
Position. So
So we're
we're approving to purchase.
What was the email?
We don't have them out, do we?
Yeah, no, I'm still getting quotes at the time right now, but we're probably looking at a.
Similar to what the
It's
Marshall.
Yeah, it won't be as fancy as the Marshalls, I want it pretty simple for the Wildland team, it'll have a roof, windshield, a winch, and a bumper, and that's about it.
What do you?
For three-person seating, and I'm out to get bids from both Polaris and, Can-Am, doesn't matter to me, as long as we can deliver probably the quickest. It died on the last fire that they're at, it's 8 years old, and when it goes out, we get paid $200 a day for it. So over the 8 years, it's basically paid for it, so. Okay.
And where did the funds come from?
$299, which is your,
What's the wild, when the wild team goes out, get reimbursed, and a little bit, that's how we pay for the equipment.
all right, so I'll take a motion to approve the purchase of the UTVs.
I'll make that motion that we purchase a UTV for our wildlife. Team.
I'll second.
With a motion and a second to purchase the UTV, any other questions? Okay, roll call.
Counselor Angela Black,
Yes.
Counselor Daniel Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Justin Brandenburg,
Yes.
Counselor Steve Cherry.
Yes.
Motion carries. And how long do you anticipate before we get that?
As soon as I get quotes and see who can deliver.
So you think we can have it for this season?
Yes, that's what I'm hoping, because yeah, they're not having to be able to use it right now, so.
Thank you. Okay, next item is discussion of our ICIP, which is the Infrastructure Capital Improvement Plan for fiscal year 2028 through 2023. This is due in July. So I just wanted you guys to have sort of what our priorities were for last year. Because we had the sewage collection system, which we did get money, well, we just always keep that out there, but they actually took
Generators.
generators, we did get capital outlay for generators. Water Trust Board has a lot of money and it's always been designated for just water. The legislature changed that to water and sewer, so we will be able to apply for sewer.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And the other wonderful thing they did, they took it out of the legislators' hands. So used to, we had to go to your darn pony show, then you got approval, then it went to the legislature, then they approved it, then it went through the whole process.
Good.
They've taken that away, now it goes through Water Trust Board, they approve it, and it moves forward. So we should be able to have more than one funding cycle for you. So hopefully, what we'll do is, get back to work, actually, engineering plans and what we need to do, and then we can continue getting money to our better treatment plan and all of our sewage collection, so. So anyway, so generators, we have the money for that, we've got 325,000, I think we're gonna be able to get our generators for that.
I believe so, we'll have an answer by June first.
Okay, and then we always have public works, vehicle equipment, water line replacement, which we're doing a pretty darn good job in knocking out our water lines. We keep town hall on here, communications. So anyway, just this is something we're gonna be looking at. We may need to do a work session and we go forward and get this ready to submit to the state. Okay. All right, the next one is discussion of Fund 280, and that's the new fund that we created, the cannabis regulation tax comes from their GRT. It's an unrestricted fund. That was just letting you guys know. Next is motion to advertise. First item is ordinance 2026-02. We don't, do we have a copy of that in here? We do, okay. So this is basically working on rewriting the business regulation code and our business licensing and regulation, and talking about, vendors and just the whole process. So again, it was a very old ordinance. If you can see, it was 1997 is the last time it was updated. So that this is something we'll probably do a work session on too, because you guys have it. And so what we want to do is just go ahead and motion to advertise so we can start the process to transfer. So I would take a motion to advertise ordinance 2026-02.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second.
I'll second that motion.
Any other questions? And so what this does, this could come to you guys a couple of different meetings, and then we do have a public hearing on it. So it's not like it's gonna happen immediately. That's how we decided, okay? Roll call.
Counselor Steve Cherry?
Yes.
Counselor Angela Black?
Yes.
Counselor Daniel Lamb?
Yes.
Counselor Justin Brandenburg?
Yes.
Motion carries. The next one is ITB 426 for fish stocking. And basically, we're advertising to stock our fish for beginning July 1. We have already begun stocking this year. I think we put a little over $3,000 in last week. So there's not going to be a gap. We just have to do it for the new fiscal year. Okay. So I would approve a motion, I take a motion to advertise ITV number 426.
I'll make that motion that we advertise ITV 426 for fish stocking.
I'll second.
Any other comments? We have a motion and a second.
Counselor Justin Brandenburg?
Yes.
Counselor Steve Cherry?
Yes.
Counselor Angela Black?
Yes.
Counselor Daniel Lamb?
Yes.
Motion carries. The next one is ITV 526, and this is for public works services. You can see the bid sheet and what we're going to be advertising for. So I would take a motion for ITV 526.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Next, we have a motion and a second to approve ITV 526. Any other comments? Roll call.
Counselor Daniel Lamb?
Yes.
Counselor Justin Brandenburg?
Yes.
Counselor Steve Cherry?
Yes.
Counselor Angela Black?
Yes.
Motion carries. The next is for ITV 626, which is road construction materials. You do have a list in your packet of what we're going to be going out to bid for. So I'll take a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve ITB 626 for road construction materials.
Second.
I'll second that.
With a motion and a second, any other discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Angela Black?
Yes.
Counselor Daniel Lamb?
Yes.
Counselor Justin Brandenburg?
Yes.
Counselor Steve Cherry?
Yes.
Next, we have matters from the governing body. Counselor Lamb.
I don't have anything today.
Nothing for me.
Just a question about the fish stocking, are they gonna do the rivers? It's just going to the ponds right now. It is about, okay, someone said they had some rivers and stuff.
Yes, and I believe we received another, load, that I just received. An updated,
Okay.
invoice, so it's, we've done it a few times already.
Okay, Councilor Greenberg? Okay. If there's no other business, we'll be adjourned. Thank you, guys.